Trish Stratus heel turn. Yes, heel Trish is back. Mercedes Monè defends her IWGP Women's Championship in a mind-blowing triple threat match. Jamie Hayter defeats Riho in a banger of a championship match. Indi Hartwell survives her first championship defense. Raquel and Liv wins WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And are we setting up for Rhea Ripley versus Zelina at Backlash? Welcome if you're entering the bell. This is DS and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly. I'm honestly still recovering from Mania weekend. I'm sure you enjoyed our pushy popping Mania review with Ariane Andrew and the Rhea Ripley thirst tweet interview, right? Mommy. But that's just beginning. The Mania content will be flowing, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. You might be surprised, but still around half of you guys watching aren't subscribed. Seriously, who provides you with better women's wrestling content? And this week, so much stuff happened. There's so much to talk about, so let's jump right into it, starting with Raw. On Raw, something that I've been waiting for months, for years, have finally happened. Oh, how stratifying episode this was. The way to get there was, yes, a little bit wonky, but we first saw Liv and Raquel find Women's Tag Team Champion Lita injured backstage and she was taken to local medical facility. And I don't know how this worked, but Adam Pearce has Trish Stratus to replace Lita for the scheduled Women's Tag Team Championship match. Don't ask me the rules, I don't know, but what I do know is that Trish looked damn good holding the title. Really made me miss seeing Trish with some gold.
Because you clearly love you some Trish. You didn't say Trish Stratus. He's like, now Lita, that's you, Trish.
This match overall was pretty fun, actually. I'm gonna gleefully look past some of those botches because Corey Graves put it perfectly. There was communication issues with the pin after Stratosphere and whatever Trish was doing when Becky was trying to hit that facelift. It's all part of the story. They're not a partner and Trish actually turns out to hate Becky, so it's all part of the storyline. It's part of the storyline, all planned.
Sure, Jan.
But yeah, again, the match was really fun. I love Liv doing Trish to Trish. Trish hitting top rope Hurricanrana and Stratusfaction on Raquel was amazing. And at the end, Becky reverses Oblivion with manhandle slam and tags out to take care of Raquel outside, and Trish Stratus attempts to finish Liv with a chick kick, but Liv Morgan rolls Trish up for the win, becoming the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I love that Raquel is the queen of random ass tag champions. Road to getting this match again was all over the place. We are robbed of Ronda and Shayna versus Becky and Lita. Raquel and Liv's random team is somehow continuing, and how the heck is Trish defending the title for Lita and lose for her? But the match itself was, while some points messy, really entertaining. And post-match, Becky raises Trish up, telling her it's okay, but heel turn. Just like that, Trish attacks Becky from the back and hits a devastating chick kick, turning heel. Oh, I cannot wait for some of the promo battle next week. Heel Trish has always been the promo queen. I low-key hate though that this was spoiled for months. Like, if we didn't know that this was coming, imagine how gagged we would have all been here. But also, Trish did tease this last year on Ring the Bell.
Oh, I know who should return.
Who?
Heel Trish. You know, Becky Lynch and I kind of like had a little, we had a little buzz going there before our live events in Toronto, and got to smack the taste out of her mouth. So that was fun. She's a brat, though. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Heel Trish gotta come back.
You know? Wouldn't it be fun?
The promo queen.
You know. I mean, I didn't say it. He said it. His words.
Either way, I cannot wait to see what kind of amazing promo battles we'll be up for between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. It's gonna be so good. I'm very satisfied. And we also had a triple threat match for the number one contendership, originally scheduled to be Michin versus Piper Niven versus Bayley, but Io yells at Bayley backstage in Japanese, saying that Bayley had her opportunity. Well, more like opportunities. Many opportunities. And Bayley seems like a really good friend. She takes the note and goes in to talk to Adam Pearce and replaces herself with Io. And this match was so fun. Oh my god, I love seeing Io get so much love from the crowd finally. And this is her moment. This is her opportunity to shine, and she did not miss a beat. And of course, Michin and Piper were all on point. Love the spot where Michin's dive was followed by Io's beautiful moonsault outside, and at the end, Mia hits Eat Defeat on Piper, attempting a pin, but Io hits over the moonsault on both Piper and Michin to pick up the win, becoming the number one contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship. Oh, you know this match will eat! You can see that Io has fully adapted to the main roster mode, and she's been showing her full strength for weeks now, with the crowd finally catching up to show some respect. And interesting to note that Bayley was a bit hesitant to celebrate with Io at first, but eventually gets in the ring with Dakota to celebrate Io. Can't wait to see the action between the Genius of the Sky and EST, and the storyline among the Damage Control members. That'll be fun. Very satisfied. And what's that song? It's a special message from Rosa Mendes.
Hey DS, hey Ring the Bell! Milena Rouka here, formerly known as Rosa Mendes. Guess what? Huge announcement. We started our own YouTube show. Wah! Yes. It's called Princesses of a King. It's a day in our lives. It's hilarious. So you wrestling fans are gonna love it because it's unscripted and it's real. Please hit that subscribe button and support us. Jordan's really passionate about this. She wants to be a little YouTube star. I was like, no. And then people were like, you're funny. And then I'm like, I'm not sure. It's too much work. But we're doing it. It's on. So check it out. Hope you guys love it. Bye.
All right, let's move to WWE NXT. So sorry we skipped Stand and Deliver review. Literally, I did not have time to review it while being in LA for Mania weekend. Anyway, I feel like we're in some bizarro world, an alternate universe. Indi Hartwell, the new NXT Women's Champion, comes out with thunderous ovation from the crowd. Indie wrestling chant, the You Deserve It chant. She cuts a full-on babyface promo here with the crowd going wild for her. And I was shocked to hear that the crowd was booing Roxanne here. Dang, you guys really did not care for that Nickelodeon segment from last week. Cue Zoe Stark with a great heel promo. She full-on disrespects the new champion, saying that Indi is a disgrace to the legacy of NXT Women's Championship. She did such a good job here that people booed when she challenged Indi for the Women's Championship for later in the show. Live crowd never boos challenges for the championship match they can actually witness later in the show. But I guess Zoe was that good of a heel. But anyway, her wish is granted and they get a championship match. And this was a solid first championship defense and great indicator of how Indi's reign will go. In 11 minutes, Stark hits Z360 on Indi, but she bumps out of the ring. Stark puts her back for a pin, but Indi reverses into a crucifix to get a surprise win over Zoe. Yeah, this was great. Like, great action, clever storytelling, quite satisfied. Post-match, Tiffany Stratton, who I guess her back is okay after that crazy fall, comes out for a stare down with Indi. Then Cora Jade surprise returns, attacks Hartwell from behind and hits the champ with DDT. Following this segment, Lyra Valkyria confronts Cora in the parking lot saying, "You can't escape the fate." Another gibberish from Lyra. Or is she teasing something like she's a parking lot attacker and her identity will be eventually revealed? Like, I have no idea. Anyway, glad to see Cora back. Her presence was dearly missed even with the stacked roster. And I'm genuinely excited where Indi's reign will go. She might not be the most, exciting in the ring, but she's got this special power to instantly connect with the fans with her amazing storytelling, her relatable character, so I think this reign could be a really fun one. Another match we saw was Ivy Nile versus Tatum Paxley as a follow-up from Tatum turning on Ivy a few weeks ago. This almost felt like a wrap on the storyline where I feel like we didn't really get to explore too much here, but thankfully they got some decent time for this match, and Ivy here looked pissed as hell, and at the end, Tatum blocks Ivy's kick, but Ivy rolls around to lock her Dragon Sleeper to finish Tatum, and the crowd was so hot for the finish, she really makes it look deadly. I'm very satisfied. And in this episode, we got JC Jane's segment where she brags about costing Gigi Dolin's match at Stand and Deliver. So excited about their feud continuing. The new NXT Women's Tag Champions Alba and Isla celebrate their championship win in a whole witchy setup, and as they celebrate with some wine, Magical Water told them that they got tons of challenge to fight off. And my favorite part of NXT, telenovela continues with Kiana and Fallon. Kiana yells at Brooks for not handing over the purse at Stand and Deliver, costing her the match and the championship. And when Fallon confronts her for cheating on Brooks, Kiana masterfully turns the tides around, saying that they were never exclusive, and she completely gaslights Brooks, saying that she was ready to be in a more serious relationship, but Brooks failed her at Stand and Deliver. Brooks then explodes at Fallon and Josh, tell him to leave him alone in his relationship. Kiana is honestly queen, has that hunky Brooks all in her purse. Mad respect for that. On AEW Dynamite, we saw Jamie Hayter defend her AEW Women's Championship against Riho in a banger of a match. Love Rio's gear here. I like that she's serving fashion recently, but all in her kawaii little style. I think this might be one of the best that Riho looked. She looked hella deadly here. She put up hell of a fight, and her speed going against Jamie's power made this such a fun match to watch. And Jamie Hayter looked like a total menace going against smaller competitor Riho, but also in general, great to see her in action kicking ass, because as much as I love Outcast shenanigans, Jamie kicking ass in the ring is what we love from her. This match was an awesome face versus face, and it was booked as an even match the whole way, and at the end, Hayter hits 2 Haterade, to pick up the win in 13 minutes. She's definitely winning me over, but I'm still on the fence about the finisher. I think the finisher depends heavily on how the opponent takes it, and I totally appreciate a second finisher, but what do I know? She's like the most over person in AEW either way, and this match was on fire. I'm so stressed. Then we are served with the Outcasts, Saraya, Ruby, and Toni Storm interviewed by Renee Paquette. They said they're coming for Jamie's title. Then Renee gets shady trying to stir some shit up, saying that there can only be one champion. And Saraya says they'll figure something out. First of all, love Toni and those bum buns. And second of all, they better not already tease the team splitting with only one person can be the #1 contender shit. I'm just gonna ignore that part because they really should not be splitting already. Outcast is really slaying it. I really need them to stay together. On Impact Wrestling, we saw the debut of Jody Threat going against Tara Rising. I love this super draggy name for this wrestler. But this is not about Tara. It's about Jody's first match on Impact, and she's so badass, she mops the floor with Tara and finishes her off with F5.
It's the F5, but I prefer to call it the F416 because I'm representing Toronto, my hometown.
So Impact Wrestling gave me an exclusive first interview with Jody Threat, so I got to talk to her, break the news that she's officially signed with Impact Wrestling. We didn't get to talk about it in there, don't ask me why, but she was known for being in that, oh my god, Athena's unsafe, that AEW Dark match. She was that girl, and she's here to kick some ass in Impact Wrestling. It is interesting though, and we discussed it in this interview, how Impact's latest recruits from Masha, Killer Kelly to Kylan have all been fierce redheads.
So I know we were joking in the back that we need to do like hair dye on a pole match and winner gets to keep the red hair.
Anyway, I'm stratisfied with this debut. We then get a promo with Deonna Purrazzo where she talks about going from champ to taking a backseat in Knockouts division for a bit, but she says she's ready to rebuild the new age of Virtuosa. And at Rebellion, either Mickey wrestles or not, she will be the new Knockouts champion. On Friday, we got AEW Rampage and Battle of the Belts double sandwich. On the main event of Rampage, we got Anna Jay versus Julia Hart, and I gotta confess, I was a bit worried about this match. I think I was a bit worried about Julia because they're both newer talents, homegrown in AEW, but Anna has gone through some wild matches, so we know what she's capable of. But last time I saw Julia Hart's match, I remember she was wrestling with one eye, and I was like, I guess props to her for only using one eye at least. But I was actually so impressed. First of all, Julia Hart's entrance was so cool, gives me chills, and I love that she was lip syncing to the music. And she was super gymnastic in this match, hitting standing moonsault and a top rope moonsault. And her super dark character meeting this gymnastic moveset makes everything even more eerie. I mean, people were chanting "Let's go spooky," so it's definitely working. I also love the aggression from the heel Anna Jay. She looked so badass here, and both women were doing great job selling their character with their great facials. And at the end, Julia sprays Black Mist while referee was distracted, and she picks up a win with the roll-up. I don't know, maybe because my expectation was so low, both ladies really surprised me, especially the improvements from Julia in her in-ring and character work. So I really enjoyed this match. I'm curious if this will lead to more Julia Hart action in women's division. That will be interesting. Stratified. And on Battle of the Belts, we got TBS champion Jade Cargill versus Billie Stark. Before this match, on Rampage, we saw RJ City trying to mediate Jade and Taya's issues sharing a finisher. And RJ City is so good. I've been a fan of him since his drinking coffee and underwear days. And I love that Taya really gagged Jade by saying that Jaded is a move that Legends and she has been using for years. Bit of an indirect glamazon nod, and that really gagged Jade a bit.
You haven't been in this business long enough to have a cup of coffee. You don't get to decide who gets to do what, when, or if anybody owns anything. That's not how it works. Show a little respect. Jade.
So Jade and Mark Sterling leave saying see you in court, so seriously fingers crossed we can see a wrestling court segment. I got to talk to Taya during Mania weekend a little bit, and she said Gail actually called Beth Phoenix for her to get that blessing on using Glam Slam as her finisher, so I'd honestly love to see Beth as a witness in this court. Probably won't happen, but Gail, or I guess more realistically Madison Rayne or Sarita joining in as a witness in this potential wrestling court will be a good idea. But back to the match, Stark starts this match with a bang, a huge slap, and I low-key love that Jade is becoming like Mrs. Battle of the Belts, delivering surprisingly fun matches with Sky Blue before and now with Billie. Billie came here with a lot of cool reversers for Jaded, but ultimately the champion hits her beautiful pump kick and hits Jaded to pick up the win in 8 minutes. Post-match, Taya Valkyrie comes out and they start swinging until she sets up Road to Valhalla on Jade, but Jade escapes and leaves the ring. This was fun. I'm stratified. Let's move to the first SmackDown since WrestleMania, and just like how Raw after Mania disappointed everyone, SmackDown did too. We were all so excited to see the huge celebration following the show-stealing match from the new SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, but Mommy Teresa strikes again and she decided to share her moment, her spotlight with her boys Judgment Days. And as she came in, Daddy Triple H shakes her hand, which was a really awesome moment. And during this promo, she demanded everyone to rise for Mommy, the most feared women in the locker room and the greatest champion in WWE. And isn't it great to know that she's one of the coolest person IRL? Watch my Thirst Tweet interview to see what I'm talking about. After this, she generously lands her star power to Valet for a tag tag match, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus Judgment Day, and she self-proclaimed herself as the most feared woman backstage, but are we sure about that? Because Zelina Vega of LA decides to mess with her, the champion, hitting her Hurricanrana, and of course, Rhea and Zelina chemistry is always right. It looks so good here, and Rhea then chases Zelina out of the arena. I wonder if Rhea's first program at Backlash will be with Zelina Vega, with it being in Puerto Rico. I think that will be great for Zelina, but they will need to seriously build Zelina up to make it anywhere believable. Then we got Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shotzi. I thought the random tag teams are done after Mania. Apparently not. I wonder if they're stalling time until Ronda and maybe Shayna are fully healed. Yeah, please put Liv back into the solo action. This was kind of a whatever tag match, not even 3 minutes. Shotzi and Natty have some cute tag moves, but they have no business asking for tag championship when they literally lost, tapped out at WrestleMania. And at the end, Raquel breaks up the heart attack and Liv hits Oblivion for the win. This was fine.
Good, not bad.
And lastly, we had New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis, where Mercedes Mone defended her IWGP Women's Championship against Azumi and Hazuki in a triple threat match. By the way, if you have time, please watch this press conference video. It kind of became a meme where Mercedes is keep calling Azumi AZM because they just write AZM but reads it as Azumi. Their interaction was so funny and it even comes into the match. So we are all curious what look Mercedes will be serving this time because she's been slaying for the last 2 appearances. And I guess she had this Cardi B inspired gear in brown. The commentary said it might be also Mandalorian inspired. Looked pretty cool and super unique. Interesting to see how she had all 3 completely different looks so far, but who knows, maybe we're too conditioned by North American wrestling where wrestlers should have certain looks all the time. Anyway, this match, it affected me. Catching up on some of the matches after seeing this triple threat match was definitely not a good idea. Like, I thought this match was on 1.5 speed mode or something. It was wild. Probably one of the most mind-blowing triple threat matches I've ever seen because the pacing was wildly different from anything we're used to in North America. This was so different from Mercedes' first match against Kairi, where we talked about in the review how it was like mix of both WWE and Joshi style wrestling. This, based on my limited understanding of Joshi, I think was full-on Joshi wrestling, and Mercedes was able to completely change gear to match that style and, to be honest, flourish in it. Hazuki and Azumi were wild. Those merciless punches to the throat of Mercedes from Hazuki, I'm surprised she could continue the match after that. And AZM with all the high-speed moves, the top rope crossbody, loved all the double submission moves, including double bank statements. Mercedes doing Liv Morgan style powerbomb to do the Tower of Doom spot was so amazing, the elevated Tower of Doom. And at the end, Mercedes picks up Azumi and hit her finisher, Moneymaker, on Hazuki, pinning Azumi for the win. Yeah, this was amazing. Sugoi, mind-blowing action. Anyone who doubted Mercedes being the GOAT of pro wrestling needs some rude awakening because the talent is undeniable. So stratified. Post-match, Mayu Iwatani comes up and I was kind of confused at first because there were like 2 handlers throughout the match wearing Stardom sweatshirt, helping out the match here and there, so I thought they were like, whatever, it's like a little different. But little did I know it was Mayu Iwatani the whole time, and she comes into the ring wearing that sweatshirt, challenges Mercedes for the IWGP Women's Championship, and we don't know what Mercedes said because the mic was off, but she said something bitch and slaps the heck out of Mayu. Their production needs some work, but it is okay. It makes everything look super raw, so I think the action stands out even more. Like, if you have time, try consciously looking at the camera movements in WWE and see how much that enhances the whole experience. New Japan has none of that, so it's really a testament to how even more insanely talented everyone is here. I cannot wait for Mercedes' next match. As you know, I got blocked by Stardom after my super informative video I filmed in Japan. I don't know why, don't ask me, so I'm not in a hurry to regularly review them or anything, but I sure will be watching their match later this month, so excited. Alright, that is it for this week's review. Honestly, I haven't been really sleeping. There's so much content I'm editing. I know that you guys are yelling at me about Nia Jax literally every day, so I'm trying to have that interview out pretty soon, potentially end of this week, so goodbye sleep. I also just filmed Hall of Fame red carpet toot and boot with Kumara Hall, so that's also coming out in a couple weeks. I also got tons of interview from WWE Media Junket, so it's all coming out. I'm working my ass off. Please support me by subscribing, and you can find me at DShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and I'll see you next time. Bye.